So we'll start with a topic called as session management. Today we'll start with this topic. Leave the diagram for the time being. Let me give the introduction to this, then we'll go to the diagram. Yeah. So what is session management? Understood? Session management is nothing but it's a process of storing client specific values. Definition wise it looks very simple. Client session management is nothing but what? Storing client specific values. That's all. Okay. And it's nothing but storing client specific values. Fine. Again, it can be, means session management can be done in two ways. One is the cookies object, and the other would be, one is the cookies object, the second would be HTTP session object. Two more objects you'll be seeing now, cookies object and the HTTP session object. Okay, so this is the introduction. Let's see what do you mean by client specific values now. So I'll be going with which one now? Cookies object. I'll be going with right now cookies object. Okay, see, I'll be introducing you a problem here when we start developing a web application. I'll introduce a problem to you, and let us see how the developer, or means what are the difficulties a developer faces while developing a web application. I'll introduce that problem to you, and how later on it is overcome with the help of which one now? Servlet technology. You'll have a major problem now, and that problem will be overcome by the Servlet technology. Let's see how that happens. First, let me introduce the problem to you. See, the client will be there, means you will have your application. This will be your application. In your application, you'll have many servlets. That's okay. So when you're writing an application, you'll have many resources, and after writing your application, you'll deploy it into the server, or you'll put it into the server. After that, the client starts interacting with the application. The client, the browser, okay, starts interacting with the client. Means he starts conversing. He'll start doing a conversation. Okay, means first request, response, then next request, response, then next request, response. Like this, he'll start doing a conversation. Okay, like say, assume that this is on registration application. Means you're asking the user to enter some details for a registration. I'm just taking two fields here. Okay. See, first request the client sends, you'll ask him to enter his personal details. Still more values will be there. I'm just taking two values. Then once he submits those values, then he'll get back the response, and he'll be asking the client to enter professional details. Again, he enters the values and submit. You'll ask him to enter what? Address details. Like this, you'll start asking the clients to enter the values. Now, if you have a question, why do you have so many screens to ask the user to enter the values? The fact is, we always make the user more comfortable, and our application should be user friendly. If all these fields, means if you have in one page only 20-30 fields, user will never be comfortable. He'll simply skip to some other application or some other site. Okay, so whatever it is, you have to make the user feel comfortable, and we start doing like this. Means we'll ask him to enter all the values in multiple screens like this. And when you start asking him to enter multiple values in multiple screens like this, then he'll start off a conversation, or he'll start off interacting with your interacting with your application multiple times. Like this, it will start off. So you know that you have developed web applications, and you have you know the limitation. Okay, the limitation is what? See, every time the request comes, the response is given. You know there are some limitations now. The values in the request object will be lost. Yes. And the request and response object will also be destroyed. So we are facing a major problem. Let me introduce that problem very clearly to you. See, he enters the personal details, and as soon as he enters the personal details and gives back the response, the request and the response objects are destroyed. Again, next time he enters the values and gives back the response, the request and response, means in this request you'll be getting company name, and in the second request you'll get only what values? Company name and salary. And again, if you want, you can use those values, and you can give back the response. But once again you give back the response, both the values are lost. Which one? Personal details was lost long back. This time you are losing which detail? Professional details. Next time he enters address details and gives the value, you will be having only two values now. Which one? Street and city here. Okay, in the request you'll have only two. The previous two are lost. Again, once you give back the response, this time your address details values are lost. So like this, every request comes and response is given, the values are getting lost. That's one major drawback. Okay, so we are facing. And one more thing what is happening here is, now we are using a protocol called as HTTP protocol. You know everything about the HTTP protocol. What is the HTTP protocol? It means it has got header, URL header, body part, all that you know. So that is the way data is carried from the client to the server, server to client. That protocol you know. But one more major thing about that protocol, it is a stateless protocol. It is a stateless protocol. Every time the request comes and the response is given, immediately there is a disconnection between the client and server. Client doesn't know the server, server doesn't know the client. Okay, if the client makes a request, it gives back the response, finished, the connection is disconnected. Next time the request comes, it might be coming from the same client. Server will never know who is making the request. Server never knows who makes the same. Next means the same client can make the request or some other client can make the request. But every request comes, server is thinking what? A new request. It thinks it considers that as a new request, but it doesn't know whether it's a old client or new client. These are all the problems we are facing now. Okay, so there is complete, and you might be thinking now, why are they using stateless protocol? See, one is, there are two types of protocols, stateless protocol and stateful protocol. Stateless protocol, what happens, one request response, the connection is disconnected. Okay, and there's no link between the client and server. An example for stateless protocol is HTTP. There is something called as stateful protocol, and an example for that is FTP, file transfer protocol. Okay, there what happens, the client and server will be knowing each other till the client logs out. So they will be continuously interacting and they will be knowing each other. So in that case, you don't have to bother about what? Storing client values. Whenever you want, you can get the values. Okay, but here, since we are using a stateless protocol, the values are getting lost after each request and response. So it is your duty to hold the values now. Otherwise, the user will continue using the application, but the application developer has to retain the values now. Now you might be having a question, why are they going with stateless protocol? Why they are not going with stateful protocol? If you have that question, see, it's all about making the application more scalable. You should make the application more scalable, because see, once the request is coming and the response is given, the server is free now to give access to what? More clients. Because you can't predict the number of users here. You can't predict the number of users. Are you clear? Requests will keep on coming. If the website is good, so more users will keep coming. So the server should always be kept free so that it can serve more clients. But in stateful protocol, what happens? The server has a limitation. Say 100 users means only 100. One more user comes means he has to wait. So this is the limitation. Means after one person logs out, then another person can log in. If the server is having a limitation of what? 100 users, means there will be a limitation now. 100 means finished. Only 100 users can access. More clients comes, they have to wait till one person logs out. Now how can you restrict the users to wait? It will not be a good site now. People will not visit your application only. So that's the reason, to make more scalable, we depend on what? Stateless protocol, and by default this technology, solid technology and all that, the server and all is using stateless protocol only for providing scalability. Now understand, for scalability, what all approaches the server people are providing to you. One is they are using for scalability. All this they have implemented by default. One is HTTP protocol they are using. Two, they are using multi-threading. Third, they are using multi-thread model. So these are all approaches taken by whom now? Server people, to support what? Scalability. Scalability happens only when all these things happen together. Scalability, I am explaining that to you. See, scalability, what? For scalability, what all they do? They use stateless protocol to provide you scalability. Stateless protocol, and example for that is HTTP. Then they are using what? Multi-threading. And are we creating any threads? No, server is only creating it. If you want, you can increase the threads or decrease it by using the tags. Third, they are using what? Multi-thread model. Means all the threads will come and execute multi-thread model. All the threads will come and execute the same instance of the solid. So many things they are doing. Default. Imagine, they are only telling you write what? Business logic. So this is the architecture we need while developing a web application. Done? So this is what they have given the support to you. So almost all you got the idea now. You are understanding. They are using stateless protocol. They are not using stateful protocol. And after every request and response, the values are getting lost. A big issue is coming up now. And all this is required. We should not say that HTTP is not good and all that. Beautiful architecture is there. But one problem which is we are facing is storing client values. So that's the reason what we can do. Say there are three layers here. One is the client, I can say. Second one, I am having the server. Okay, right now we are having two things. But the problem is when the user sends this personal details value and the response is given, the value is lost. Okay, so the values will come via what? HTTP request body. Means if this is FN and this is LN, means some variable names if you give, like FN and LN, the value either in the, if it is get, it will come in what? URL. If it is post, it will come in the body part. HTTP request body will take care to bring all the values and give it to your application, and these values will be in the request object, correct? And once the response is given, it's destroyed. Before the request object is destroyed, what you can do? One option you have. You can bring one more layer called as the database layer, and you can have one table here, one big table, and you can store all your values in this table like first name, last name, company, salary. Like this you create one table, street, city. You can do this. So every time the request comes, what you are doing now? From the primary memory, you will store it into secondary memory. Simple. The values will be first stored in variables. Request dot get parameter. But the values in variables are always what? Primary memory. So that's why before the value, when the response is given, they will also be lost. So you dump it into database. In the first request, you will store the first name, AA, and the response is given. The next request comes, again you can connect to the database and fill what values? Company name, cluster, salary is 1000, something like this. You can go on filling, again you give back the response. Next request comes, collect the values, connect to database, insert the values, give back the response. Yes. And when you want, you can retrieve your values. It's not a problem. All your problems are solved now. Okay. But we are depending on which one? Database. Yes, depending on database is always good. I'm not saying no, because it's permanent memory. Your values will never be lost. But it doesn't mean that every time the request comes, you hit the database and store the values. This is a wrong approach. Why? Let us discuss that also now. Every time the request comes, you'll connect to the database and then you'll insert the values, give back the response. Okay, again one more request comes. You're connecting to database, giving back the response. What is the problem now? What is the problem? You're hitting the database every now and then. So unnecessarily you're hitting every now and then to the database, which is not recommended. That's one thing. Every request hitting the database means what? That's one problem. Second thing is, this side also you see now. The user enters only personal details and professional details. Suddenly, he feels he's getting an important call now. He quits the application. He doesn't use the application. And he has not entered address details. By that time, what has happened? These two values have been stored in what? Database. Those two columns remain what? Incomplete. Yes or no? So like this, you start getting incomplete data, which is not a proper approach. We should avoid invalid values into your database. Yes or no? It's not a recommended approach. Otherwise, you'll have to keep on database administrator only for what? Cleaning up all these values every day. Understood? That is not recommended. So, storing values in database is not recommended for every request. For every request, it is not recommended. Okay, you should know when exactly to connect to database and then exactly store the values in the database. That you will know. That you will get with experience and some more examples. You don't have to worry. So this is one more problem. Means the user can quit midway. Yes, because and tomorrow again one more problem. Again what you will do? You start from the beginning. The user today has quit midway. Tomorrow again what will you do? Same values will enter. Obviously, user always starts from where? First page only. You'll never think, okay, yesterday I gave incomplete. So like this, always see one user only can go on entering what? Multiple values like this. So all these problems occur. So that is the reason, there are many reasons. I just gave a few examples why you should not always connect to database and store the values into the database every time. So this problem is there. So now there are three layers. Okay, one is the client, one is the server, one is the database. Okay. So storing client specific values for every request, storing, get the point, storing client specific values for every request in the database is not a good approach. So REST comes two layers, one is the client layer, other one is the server layer. There are three different entities totally. See, we are working on a stimulated environment, database, browser and server are in the same computer. But if you see practically Gmail and all, you see what happens. Browser is you are having it in your computer, application is somewhere, database again will be kept in one more computer. So like that there are three layers now. Okay, so like this, when the scenario is there like this, what happens now? So let's see. So request comes, a response is given. So yes, nothing, currently no values are getting stored on the server side. Currently no values are getting stored on the server side. Okay, so but you have option now. You have two options. Either you want to store values in client side, or you can store the values in server side. Both I'll show you. Okay, how to store client specific values in client side also I'll show you. How to store it in server side also I'll show you. Then we'll discuss which one is the best. and which one is the practically used one in our projects. Practically, first I will show you both. Storing values in what? Client side, and storing values in server side. It is very simple. If you want to store values in client side, we use cookies object. Storing values, see, this is the difference between cookie and what? Storing values, client specific values. Two objects you can use, I told you now, right? Storing client specific values. Okay, you can use two objects. One is the cookie object, the other one is the session object. You written it. So this stores where? Stores values in client side. This stores values where? In server side. So I have to cover both now, but first I'll introduce cookie. And this is never used, but you should know there are a lot of concepts there. Even though it's practically not used, there is a lot of concept, you have to know that. Practically used one is this only. We'll be storing it in session, that we'll be seeing it in the next class. Today I'll be only concentrating on what? Cookies, and I'll be showing you how to store the client specific values on the client side. Concept is very simple. Now let's come back to our diagram now. Look at the diagram clearly, fully now. So every time the request comes, see, user is entering first name and last name, and you have given the name to these input fields now. I'm going on to explain what now? Cookies to you. He is entering first name and last name. Supposing he enters Ravi, and if he enters Kumar, okay, now what happens? When he submits this, the browser generates an HTTP request body. It will collect all the information from the client place, like the operating system name, the browser name, the IP address. Along with that, these two values also, the input field values Fn and Ln, all these values will be collected. One HTTP request object will be created. You know the flow. And that HTTP request object will start moving via TCP IP to the, which are now? Server. Yes? So yes. So I'll clear this. See, very, very, very important concept. Clearly understand this now. I've shown you a diagram, but today I'm repeating it. When the client sends the request to the application, this is the application which is there in the server. Remember this diagram always now. The HTTP request body, contains three types of values. Very, very, very important. One is the header values. What are the header values? IP address, operating system name, browser name, all that of which one? Client. Header values. Two, it will be containing cookie values. Three, it will be containing request values. So till now I have shown you how to work with header values. How do you work with header values? Request.get IP address, request.get, so many you got methods. Okay, all those methods we call get method name, all the information you can get. All the header information you can get by calling some. See, these values will be now put into what? All these values will be put into what now? Request object. This is your request object. Your request object will be having all these values. What? One, it will have header values. Two, it will have cookie values. Three, it will be having what? Request values. Your request object is having all the three. And this is what we can access. How will you access? Request.get method, get protocol, all that. They are header values. You can access the parameter values. How? Request.get parameter. So today I will be showing you how to work with the cookie values. But cookie is a value which comes from client to server and server to client. It will be like that. Understood? So we will be seeing this. So now what exactly I will be doing is, see this very carefully. First of all, you should understand what is a cookie. First you should understand what is a cookie object. Cookie object is very simple. It is one more object, normal object, which is always created where, you know, on the server side. The cookie object is always created on the server side, but it moves and lives in the client side. The cookie object is created on server side and it moves and lives in the client side. Again, next request is done. The cookie moves from the client to the server. Again, the server sends back the cookie from the server to the client. Means it will schedule between the client and server. But it is created on server side but lives in client side. Created on server, lives in client side. Let's see. That's the concept. So what happens? These many values are coming now. First time there will be no cookies. But these are the three type of values what HTTP request body can bring. First time when the request is coming, only two values will be coming. Which are now? Header values and request values. What are the header values? IP address, the operating system name, all that it will bring. Along with that, what will bring request values? Fn and Ln. Means Ravi and Kumar will be stored in Fn variable name, Ln variable name, and they'll come to the personal detail servlet. So once it comes to the personal detail servlet, where are these values? Both the values in the request object. So what will I do in the request object? I'll collect the values from where? Request. So that's what? Collect values from request. How do you collect it? First point. Request.get parameter Fn, Ln, get it. Then what will I do? I'll create on cookie object. Okay, I'll create on cookie object. I'll add these two values, Fn and Ln values where? Cookie object. And then I'll give back the response. Now these two values are again going back where to client place only. Which one? Ravi and Kumar again will be residing where now? Client machine. C drive, document settings, cookies. There it will be stored. User will never know. It will be residing in the client machine. It is invisible for him. Okay. So next time he'll enter company name cluster. Okay, and he'll enter salary 1000. When he press submit, now three values will come. Which are the three values? Header values, cookie values, and request values. Which are the request values? Cluster and 1000 are request values. Ravi and Kumar are actually stored where now? C drive, document settings, cookies. From there it will be retrieved. Who will retrieve it? Browser. Browser, when it is generating the HTTP request body, it will read that information in the client machine. It will collect all this information. Okay, it will collect the cookie information, the IP address, lots of information the browser will collect. Retrieves that. Along with that, it will put what? This one might be company name, might be CN, salary might be SL. These are the two request values. Now these two values. So totally how many values are going now? 4. 2 as request values, 2 as cookie value. So again what will I do? I'll collect those two request values, put it into cookie, give back the response. So again here what happens? This time how many values will be getting? 4 cookies will be there. Yes or no? So let's see this. I'll do it. First request response. When you submit, what are you doing? I'll write the code. See this. Now I'll write the code for you. See this code, the personal details select code I'll write now. So what is the personal details select going to do? Do get string s1 is equal to request dot get parameter of which one now? Fn. Yes or no? How will you collect the request values? Request dot get parameter of Fn. Similarly, you will say what? String s2 is equal to request dot get parameter of Ln. So I got the request values. But remember, if you don't store it somewhere, they are lost. So that's why what I'll do, see this, cookie C1 is equal to new cookie. I'll create on cookie object. The constructor of cookie needs two values. One is the key, like what you use, Fn, comma what? S1. Same thing, cookie C1 is equal to new cookie. I'm creating the cookie object. The value of S1 is now stored in what? Fn, capital Fn I have used, just for convention. Instead of using ABCD, I'm using some good names. That's it. Yeah. So then again, cookie. This is on class now. This is one more class in what? Servlet API. We are exposing the library. Okay. So cookie C2 is equal to new cookie. What will I say? Ln comma S2. Now see what I'll do. Response dot add cookie. C1. Response dot add cookie. C2 finished. Give back the response pw.println. So you are seeing all the some more methods of what? In response, so many methods you are seeing. Write your output. So that is the code here. When the request is done, collect values from request. First statement. This is first point now. This two is first point. Second point is what? Create cookies and add values to cookie object. This is the second point. Third point is what? Add cookies to response object. Third. This one is provide response. That's all you are doing. But when you write these many lines of code, you know what all happens? See, values came. They were in request object. So in the request object, how many values are coming? Fn and Ln, Ravi and Kumar. These two values are coming. I am running short of space here, but understand, in the request object which gets created here, Fn and Ln are there. The value of Fn is Ravi, the value of Ln is Kumar. So along with that, many values will come. Yes or no? Header values and all that. So these two values will go there. And when the response is given now, here two cookies will come, C1 and C2. In fact, the name of the cookie is Fn and Ln. No? I'll write the name of their cookie only. C1, C2 are coming. But what is C1? The name? The name of C1 is Fn. The name whatever you give. And this one would be what? Ln. But where is the value now? Fn is containing what value? S1's value. What is S1 value? Ravi. What is S2 value? Kumar. These two values are now residing on what? Client machine. Where? C drive, documents and settings, cookies somewhere there, no? So it will be residing there. User will never know. How does he know? He is not a programmer, no. We programmers know what is happening. User hardly knows anything. So it will be stored. Next time he will enter cluster and 1000. So again one more request object will be created. In this Cn and Sal will be created. Cn is what? A cluster. And Sal will be 1000. Along with that, yes, what all will go? Can you tell me now? Cn, Sal is equal to 1000. Then Fn, then Ln. Means the two cookies. C1 and C2 will be going. C1 that is Fn, C2 that is Ln. These many values will go now. Cookie 1 and 4 values are going, but 2 are going in cookie, 2 are going in request values. So it will come now. So the request values you can get in the second servlet. Which servlet how will you get? See now, I'll write personal details or now? Yeah, professional details now. Yeah, so this is do get request comma response. Yes, how do you get these request values now? Cn and Sal. Same story, string S3 is equal to request dot get parameter of what? Cn. String S4 is equal to request dot get parameter of which one? Sal. Fine. If at all you want to use cookie value, you can use it. If you want use, else leave it. So when you want to use it, but you'll be getting it, but not from what? Not as parameter. This time you'll be getting it as cookie. And to get that value, in case if you want, I'll call the method request dot get cookies. There's a method. So this is one more method what you're seeing in what? Request object. You've seen many methods in request. So this is one more method what you'll be seeing. The return type of this is an array of cookie. It's an array, all the cookies means 2 cookies will be there. You have to iterate and access it. Done? Okay, fine. This is accessing the cookie value, leave that. But my requirement is what now? Collect values from request in the second servlet. Create cookies, add values to cookies and put the cookie in response and provide. Same story now. What will you do? Cookie C3 is equal to new cookie of Cn, capital Cn, comma S3. Cookie C4 is equal to new cookie of what is that? Sal, comma S4. Response dot add cookie of C3. Response dot add cookie of C4. That's it. Give back the response. So this time in your response, how many cookies will be coming? Can you imagine? 4 cookies. C1, C2, C3, C4. 4 cookies will be residing. So next when you enter street, like Raj Kumar Road, street is Bangalore and submit, totally how many values will go? 6 values. Which are the 6 values? 2 parameter values, 4 cookie values. And again, if you want, what you do? Same code. Collect the 2 request values. Put it into which one? Response. Put it into cookie. Put the cookie into response and give back the response. So when you submit now 6, okay, in this 6, 4 cookies to request. You understand now? 4 cookie values means C1, C2, C3, C4. Understood? And 2 request values. But now how many 6 cookies are here now? Sorry, here when you submit this, yeah, when you submit now, how many cookies will be going now? Because now you have got 6 cookies. So when you send now, what is this servlet doing? What is this servlet doing now? Professional details. Address details, no, yeah. What is address details doing? Show details. This one is show details servlet. Yeah. So it will give back. How many cookies it will be giving back? C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6. 6 cookies. Now if you submit, all the 6 cookies will go. How many cookies? 6 cookies will be there. All the 6 cookies, what you will do? You can use it. But I am doing print. When I am printing, obviously I have got the values now. When I am printing means I have obviously got the values. So what is the concept now? We actually are trying to store the client values. Where? Client side. That's it, very simple. Built in now. Hardly how many lines did you write code? How many lines of code you wrote? 2 lines. Request.get parameter. Cookie C1 is equal to new cookie. Response.add cookie. 3 lines you are writing. And remember, which one you don't add, that will be lost. If you don't add anything now, it will be lost. Are you clear with the concept? Now supposingly 2 clients come. No problem now. If 2 clients come now, one user will be having his own set of cookies, another user will be having what? His own set of cookies. You will never have a problem only. Yes or no? So every time the client makes a request, 3 clients, 4 clients, 5 clients, they will be having their own connection and they will be having their own cookies in their computer. So every time they make a request from their computer, their values will be going. And again the same values will be responded back to the client. It will never jumble up. So all the values will be stored in the client machine. So every time the client makes the request, the values will be coming, we'll be putting it and we'll be giving back the response in the cookie. So we'll see the output of this. Yeah. Preferably to work with this, you use Chrome browser. It is recommended you use Chrome browser because Chrome will give you more information only for this program. Okay, other programs you can use any browser, but this, or you can use the browser in your which one? Eclipse also. But for this example, it's preferred you use which one? Chrome browser. Okay. So shall I clear the diagram? Or I'll show you one output, then I'll explain it, then I'll clear it. Otherwise, again, if you get doubt, again I can't draw this. Yes or no? So first I'll retime that. I'll show you the output. So first see the code, the 16th example I'll be going now. 16th example. This would, I know until I clear this diagram it will be a bit problem. First let me get one output, then I'll clear this. Clear? So 16th example, this is the enter.html. So you're asking the user to enter what? First name. First one is the HTML file. So once he enters the value, now you have to write logic. So it will go to what? Personal details servlet. What is personal details servlet doing? Collecting values from request, creating the cookie object. Leave the commented part, the time being. So you'll see how I'm doing. Request.get parameter first name, second name. After that what I'll do? Create the cookie. Put it into what? Response. That's all I'm doing, nothing more. I'll give back the response. So again it will go to professional details. What is professional details doing? Same story, collecting values. If you want, get the values, which one? Cookie values. If you don't want, leave it. It's not that you have to get it in every request. But this is very important for us. Request.get parameter, cookie, and put it into the response. These lines are very important for us. these 3 lines, these 6 lines. Collect values from request, put it into cookie, give back the response. Okay. If at all you want the previous cookie values, use it. I'm just writing here so that I'm telling you, trying to show you what it is available. Previous request values are available in this servlet. Reason is it is not coming from the request object, but it is coming from the cookie. This request object is bringing the cookie value. Are you clear? Fine. The next out.println. Next again address details. Address details select what it will do? Same story. You are collecting it, putting into what? Cookie. 6 cookies now. Again, if you want, you get the value. Else, leave it. It's not mandatory to get the value everywhere. Okay, but actual values are required in the last servlet. Yes. So once it is given, now show all details servlet. What will it do? See, all the 6 values will get here. So I show you this output. This is the code what you saw. Okay. Now let's see the output. I'll take this because as I told you, it's better you work on in a Chrome browser. I'll tell you what the reason you'll only understand. So I'll make a request. Enter.html. So I'm entering my first name. I'm entering my second name. Done. Press enter. Values are actually stored in cookie and it is now in my client machine. Where? C drive, document and settings. It will be there. I'm not even aware of it. I'll enter what now? Current company name, salary. Current company name I'll give cluster. My salary is only 1000. Yes sir. So I'll press enter. Now how many values are going? 4. But I'll be displaying only cookie value. Yes or no? See the 2 cookie values are coming. This is displaying. But actually in my machine now how many cookies are there? 4 cookies. The previous 2 cookies I'm displaying. But actually fact is in my system, I'll show you those 4 cookies. Okay, it is there in my machine. Then again, street. Now how many values will go? How many values are actually going? 4. 4 cookies, 2 request values. Raj and city is Bangalore. Yes? 2 request values, 4 cookies. So that 4 cookies I am displaying. And last when I click, it will show me all the 6. See this. But I am getting all these values from cookies. Where? In the last servlet. This is how it is happening here. Clear? So fine. Now we'll go to C drive, documents and settings, correct? Where? Where it is cookies folder, where it will be? Users, right? Where users? Yeah, users. Okay. I think class 1. Favorites, huh? Where is the cookies folder? I think administrator. Okay, see when you are installing OS, sometimes there will be an option, show cookies. When you are installing operating system, if you disable it, you will not be sometimes seeing the folder, it will become hidden. Understood? Actually it will be there. And that is the reason I am using Chrome browser. Sometimes it will be visible to you, sometimes it will not be visible to you. Now see, I will clearly show in the Chrome browser. It will be visible. So I am closing the Chrome browser, carefully see now. It will be there actually. Understood? Now see, first what you do, clearly see. Second, I'll clear this board, then I'll come to this. See what happened when the client made a request. You saw the output. Okay, so he entered Ravi and Kumar. So what values came in? You can see now the values were collected, stored in cookie, give back the response. So same thing, this complete flow you understood. So keep this in mind now. I'll show you by clearing all this very clearly. Clear? So in the last slide we are getting all the values. And even if you see it in C drive documents and settings and all that, no, you'll not understand it. It will be in some particular format. Okay, but that information, if you want, in Chrome browser, it is clearly visible to you. Whatever the value is coming now, it will be very clearly visible in what? Chrome browser. It will display it to you, that's all. So this is a very important concept. Pay more attention to this. And whatever examples I am giving, I am not giving it for you for what? Seeing and typing. That is for reference I am giving. When I explain you some concept using the API, you have to code by yourself. That should be your ability. You want your job, no? A company, who will give you code? So you are supposed to code on your own. Concept you have to understand and code. Clear? So I am trying to pitch concepts. So code I am giving only for reference. So always use like that. Okay, we'll come to the code now. See this, the browser, I'll open Chrome browser. First what you do is, see this, options you note down. Click here on the right corner. Clear? Go to, click there, go to settings. If you go to settings, click on settings, scroll down, you will get an option, show advanced settings. Click there. Again, you will get on this option, advanced settings, you will be seeing what? Content settings. Click on this and you click on what? All cookies and site data. Click there, it will show you all the cookies which are used till now. Clear all this. Means your previous browsing history and all will be there. Clear it. So that in our application it will be neat and clean now. Clear? So yes, done. But do not close this. Let this tab, sorry, 1 second. I closed it off. But do not close that. See, again I'll do it. Settings, show advanced content settings, all cookies and site data, remove. That's from Google it is coming, google.co.in. Remove all. Okay, done. One more should be open now. Okay, I think I'll open one and then do it. Let's see this. See, first I'll make the request. I'll make the request now. Enter.html. As soon as I make the request for enter.html, you'll get the screen now. Yes? So now see what I'll do. Now you go and delete it. Settings, show advanced settings, content settings, all cookies and site data, remove all, done. Now 2 tabs will be there. So come to your tab. Which one? First name. So right now, are there any cookies? See there? I've deleted everything. Okay, fine. So I'll enter Ravi and I'll enter Amog. Anything you want, you enter. Submits. It went to the personal details select. What did personal details select do? You know the code. So adding it in cookies and sending it. It is there in my machine. See this. I'll go to this one. All cookies and site data. See there, localhost, 2 cookies. It's coming from the local machine. It is visible here, that's all. In Chrome browser, it is neatly visible. What is the name of the first one? First name. Last name. If you click on first name, it will give you the full story. First name. What is actually first name containing? What value? Ravi. Understood? And okay, path, any kind of, and created on this time. When will it die? When will the cookie get destroyed? When the browsing session ends. As soon as I close the browser, the cookie will be destroyed now. That is the meaning of it. Okay, this is the detail about what? First name. If you want, you can click on second name. What is it? What details it will give you? So this is the value which is in my machine actually. Understood? So since it is not easily visible directly in C drive document settings cookies, I am using what? Chrome browser. Chrome browser is getting that information and displaying it to you. Don't think this information is stored in Chrome browser now. This is actually stored in what? C drive. In the client machine it will be stored. Browser is only retrieving it and displaying there. Done? So it is there. Now see this. Current company name what? Cluster. Current salary 1000. I'll press enter. So now in my machine how many cookies are there? 4. See this. This I'm displaying is different, but in my machine what? This is pw.println. But now see, again I'll go to the same location. Close it. Again just open it here on all cookies and site data. How many are there now? 4. So these are a Google one, leave it. Okay, see our localhost you concentrate. Localhost, 4 cookies. Company name, first name, salary, second name. Company name I type cluster no. See this cluster. And browsing session ends. Salary I entered 1000 no. See there. So all this information is there. Clear? Then again I'll enter street, Raj, and city is what? Bangalore. Done. So I'll submit. What happens? 6 cookies this time. So go there. All cookies and site data 6. Localhost you concentrate. Cookies. See the 6 values. Done. So then, okay, fine. Click to see all details. This is view. What you are seeing pw.println. But here you can see all the 6 data are present. Now it is alive. As long as I am browsing, these 6 cookies are present. See there. Every time I make the request, it is going. Every time I am sending the request, the browser will collect this information from where? C drive, document settings, cookies folder it will be collecting. So the browser is a very powerful software. You have only used it for browsing. Like this, the browser collects all the information from the cookies folder, from your operating system, IP address, operating system name, browser name, all this information it will be collecting. It will put it into the HTTP request body. Along with that, the input values, and all these values are transmitted from the client to server using what? TCP/IP. There, it will be. You can get it in your application. Request.get IP, request.get any information you can get from the client. Okay, so that is what we are doing. So I am just showing you how to use the request object. I am exploring or exposing some more methods in HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. Request.get cookies, one more method I am explaining to you. Response.set, what one? Add cookies, one more I am explaining to you. And one more class in the servlet API I am explaining to you. Every day I come, I will be explaining you what? One class, some method, over. Concept, so many other big. And that will be implemented in this, encapsulated rather. That concept is encapsulated in this class or interface. That's how Java has been designed. Understood? So we have to understand concepts. Code is there for you. What was my requirement? Collect values from the request. Put it, means when I am writing a web application, the values will come in the request. Those values I want to collect from the request, put it into cookie and send it to the client. That is my requirement. It's a big requirement. Very big requirement. How many lines of code did you write for all this? Imagine request.get parameter, cookie C1 is equal to new cookie, response.add cookie. 3 lines of code you are writing as a developer. This is the luxury what the Java developers get. Understood? Such a big requirement it is. So Java is very easy until and unless you understand what? Problems, concepts. Java is giving solution to all that. We are not coding anything in Java. So it's one of the easiest language. Understand now, everything is ready-made in Java. Okay. So this is how they are doing it. All this clear? Okay. So if I close, see, as long as I am browsing, these values are there. This is still my browser is open. All cookies and site are talking so long. Still the data is there. 6 cookies. See that? Yes. Once I close my browser, they are destroyed. This is an important interview question. What is the life of the cookie object? By default, it is what? Till the browser shuts down. By default. Very important interview question. See this, I'll open the browser again. Again I'll go to settings. Show advanced settings, content settings, all cookies and site data, localhost, anything are you finding here? That is from Google, leave it. Localhost, anything, are your 6 cookies present here? So once it is shut down, the values are lost. Done? So this is how they have been designed it. So this is how the cookies work. Done? Okay. Now some more interview questions come up now. This is very important now. Yes. How can I increase the life? Means if you want, you can also set the life. Say like by default, as soon as the browser is shutting down, it's getting shut down. Yes. If you want, after the browser shuts down, still you want to retain, you can do it. How? By specifying the time. How you know? See this. In personal details, what I'll do, I will say cookie1 dot set max age. This is a method. I am exposing some more methods in what? Cookie now. Understood? Cookie1 dot set max age. So this unit is actually seconds. Directly you can give 300 seconds or 3000 seconds. Just to make you understand, what did I do? 30 into 60 means for 30 minutes. Otherwise 30 into 60 is what? 1800. Directly you can write it, or you can write like this also. Okay, so I will set it to what? 30 minutes. See this, sorry, 30 into 60 means what? 30 minutes. Otherwise directly write 1800. So the means the life of the cookie is more. For which one now? Only for cookie 1, not for cookie 2. So I'll browse this time. Understood? And look, I'm saying cookie 1 dot get max age. For both, cookie 2 dot get max age. Understood? So when I do this, what will happen? It will print me the value. Cookie 1, it will print me how much? 1800. Okay. Cookie 2 will print what you know? -1. So the default value of set max age is what? You know, there's one method. Which one? Set max age. The default will be -1. -1 means as soon as the browser shuts down, it will be destroyed. -1 means, understand? The default value of set max age is -1. Very important entry question. Done? So see this. I'm setting it to this one. So it's me now. Let me open the browser. Yes. See this. Very interesting now. Yes. I'll make the request. Open. Delete all your cookies, old cookies. So that it will be neat and clean. That's it. Remove all. Close. Now come back. First name A. Second name. Fine. Submit. Yes. See this. Go to this one. All cookies and site data. 2 cookies. First name. See. Is AAA. Content is what? AAA. When will it expire? It was created on 1 hour 5 minutes. It is created at 1 hour 5 minutes. But it will be expiring on what? 1 hour 35 minutes. Exactly 30 minutes. How powerful, man. Just you call methods. How you are controlling your programming. See. Understood? That is Java, man. Yeah? So are you clear with this? So fine. 30 minutes it will remain now. Which one? Only first name. But this is if you want second name. Second name is also A. Leave it. Okay. But expires when? Browsing session ends. Very clearly, that is the reason I am using Chrome, nothing else. Full information you can get how the cookies are working. Yeah? Internet Explorer and all, I don't know about this option, but in Chrome very clearly you can see all this. Done? So preferably for this example use Chrome browser. Fine. Now again let's continue. Okay, 1 second, let me close this. Done? Okay, fine. Next. Company name. Something like I'll write BBBB. Current salary is 11111. Anything you enter, submit. Now again you can go and check all cookies and site data. 4 cookies. Company name BBB. When will it end? I did not set the age. And for salary, again 111. Browsing session ends. Street. I'll enter something like ZZZ. Submit. Yes. Click to see all details. Fine. You can see it. Go there. Close it and open it again. All cookies and site data. 6 cookies. You can see everything here. Done. Perfect. I'll close the browser. I'll open up the new browser. Which one will be there now? First name will be there. This is a very important question, and this concept is used somewhere in your practical projects. So that's why I'm showing you. Here in this example, it makes no sense. When you're developing real-time application, this concept will be very helpful for you. See this. I'm opening up now. Settings. Show advanced settings. Content settings. All cookies and site data. Localhost. Localhost you concentrate. Cookie. First name. Done? Okay, if you want you can set lesser time also. Okay, even before the browser closes, or like this time if you want. Okay, you can, if you want still early also you can make it destroyed. I'll give the time as you know here 30. Only 30 seconds now. Your browser is opening also, it's destroyed. You're still browsing, but it will be destroyed. See this. Means deployment should go on happening, you know that now. Any changes? Okay, fine. Any changes you do, deployment should happen. Sometimes it will not be deploying. Be careful about that. See here, as soon as I did the changes, you can see it's deploying. Okay, keep on deploying. Sometimes if it is not deploying, you will not be seeing the output. Okay, enter.html. Enter first name. I'll enter some good name you give this time. Ramesh. Okay. Any other name? Rajesh. Rajesh, similar, some other name? Jaggesh. Okay. Submit. So fine. See this now, very interesting. Sorry, I should have cleared the earlier ones and then made this. I'll open up again once. You should clear always the previous ones. First clear the previous ones so that it will be easy for you, that's it. Yeah, first remove all this. That localhost was there. Okay, fine then. Next. Yeah, Ramesh, now you want and then you want what? Jaggesh. Okay, we'll submit. See this. Close this. Okay. All cookies and site data, 2 cookies are there. First name, life is how much? See there only 30 seconds. 29 to 24 to 54. Just to see after 30 seconds it will not be there. Browser is still open. 30 seconds over. Over, yes, no? Only 1 cookie. You can reduce the time also. Means default is -1. Okay, you can set the time. So if the time is even before the browser is closing, it will still be destroyed. Understood? Or you can give a more time. Which one? 1 hour, 2 hour, 30 into 60 or 100 into 60 means what? 100 minutes. Like that. You can give it. So this is the concept of cookie, but all the values are getting stored on what now? And I am doing some SOP here. Means just I am setting it and I am printing value cookie of set max age and printing it in the SOP. You can see here max age cookie 1 is what? 30 and this one is -1. Done? Means I reduced it to 30 seconds. Now first it was 1800 like this. Default is -1. And one more thing. Lastly, I see in the show all details alert how you are getting the values. Notice request.get cookies. What is that you are getting? Array of cookies. Here you cannot get the value directly one by one. Like how you do context.get attribute. Like that you can't do. What you have to do? You will get the array of cookie. There you have to iterate like this. Iterate like this. Get length, get name, get value. So it will be printing what? Get name is a method in cookie. It will print you the name of the cookie. And get value will print the value of the cookie. So this is the final output audio. This same output I used everywhere. Personal details, professional details. I'm iterating, but when I iterate here I'll get only 2 cookies. In the next slide I'll get what? Address I'll get 4. Show all details I'll be getting 6. That's the output what you are seeing here. See this. Last we'll see it and finish it. A. We are not doing any iteration. So it's printing. Iterates get name. This is the name. Get value. This is the value. This is get name. This is get value. Like this it goes on. R. Again get name, get value. We are printing both. Click to see all details. See this. Get name will print the name of the cookie. Get value will print the value of the cookie. Done? It's an array. So in that you have to pick which one you want. You want which value? You have to get. If something you have to write conditions. Okay, sometimes you want only first name, sometimes you want only last name. So that time you have to write logics, break, whatever that you have to access. But I am showing you how to retrieve all the values. Done? So fine, this is how it is made. Done now. So fine. But I showed you the concept of how to store client specific values in client side. Client side. Is this recommended to use? No. If you store client specific values on client side, what will happen? Everybody can access your. There's no security. What are the drawbacks now? What are the drawbacks of storing client specific information in cookie? Drawbacks. Security. Anybody can see the data. Yes? Next. Browser can delete the cookies. See, I'll show you now. Very interesting scenario here. You will delete your own cookies. What will happen? The user will delete his own cookie. I'm entering Ravi. Okay, Ravi and Amog are there, but what I'll do now? Settings, show advanced settings, content settings, all cookies and site data. Localhost 2 cookies are there. What will I do? Delete it. So client can delete all the cookies like this now. So when he deletes it, what will happen? See next time, current company name, cluster, current salary 1000. You're not getting the values only. It fits. Null pointer exception. You're trying to print there. Means like this problems will start off. Client can delete it or browser can reject it. In your browser you can set the option, enable the option of what? Reject cookies. It will not accept the cookies only. So these are all the problems. So it is not a recommended approach. Okay, it will fail. So that's the reason we don't use cookies for storing what? Client specific information. But cookies will be used for some other purpose. Okay, that I'll be discussing later. Okay, but don't use it for storing client specific information. Okay, and if at all you want, you can do it. It will solve. You open 2 browsers, 3 browsers, all your problems will be solved, and make the requests, all that will be solved. Okay, but it will not jumble up. No problems will be there. But the drawbacks of cookie are privacy is not there, security is not there, and the browser can reject the cookies, the browser can delete the cookies. There is limitation. The browser can store only about 40 cookies from one website. Okay, like there are so many limitations. Okay, so due to these reasons we do not use cookies for storing. Even though it is there, we do not use it. So that is why we depend on the next one, which is called as HTTP session object. Most brilliant, most beautiful, that is the most powerful, and we use that only. That will also be very simple. Only you have to understand full big concept. Concept you have to understand. 2 days, 3 days it will take to understand that concept. But only 2 lines of coding you will be doing like this only. You do not have to worry about that. But concept is so vast. Okay, that's one of the challenging subject in which one sell it, which many people find it difficult to teach. But you are trained under me, no problem. You will not find any difficulty. Understood? So we'll be seeing that. Are you clear with this? So next, some notes. Session management or storing client specific data. The communication between the client and server is happening with HTTP. Yes, HTTP is a stateless protocol, that is after a single request and response scenario there is no connection between the client and the server. This mechanism makes the web application more scalable. We need it because it provides scalability. Okay, because the server remains free to accept more requests from more clients. The server identifies every request coming from the same client as a new request, and even though the client is an old client. All the values related to a particular client can be stored in 2 different objects. One is the cookies object, 2 is the HTTP session object. Okay, cookies object stores the values in the client side. We can use this object to store client specific values in the client side, and this is not recommended. Underlined clearly, see that. HTTP session object stores the values in the server side. We can use this object to store client specific values in the server side, and this is highly recommended. So we are pending with this topic, which will be covering in the next class. Now session management with cookies. I am explaining you what? Session management with cookies. Cookie is a piece of information which contains a name and value both of type string. Cookie object will be created in server and will be moved to the client machine with response object and stored at the client machine. When we send the request to application, all the cookies related to the application will be attached to the request and go to the server. It will not jumble up. Browser is very intelligent. It knows which cookie to give to which client. Your values it will be given to your application. Google values it will be given to Google site. It knows. Always cookie shuttles between the client and server. We can use cookies to store client specific data, but it is not a good approach because browser might not support cookies or client might delete cookies. Also, storing values in cookies is not secure. Following is the way we can store values. Just I copied and pasted the code. If you want, when you are going to interview, just you can refer to it. What is the default life of the cookie object? Browser is shut down. How can I increase the life of the cookie object? By specifying the expiry time. Okay, this time is set in seconds and the cookie will stay alive for this period even after the browser shuts down. Remember. What happens if I set the time to -1 or cookie means if you call cookie.setMaxAge, that is default anyway. The cookie will be destroyed as soon as the browser is closed. This is default value. Yeah? Okay. So like this, I'm going on exploring all these things to you now. So see, you can refer, you import all this. You can see we are saying the cookie is coming from what? JavaX package. See, I'm exploring the Solid API for you. Only I'm exploring more methods, more information you want. Start referring to what? Your favorite, which one? Docs, Java Docs, HTTP. Anything you will type, it will come up. Anything you search in internet, the first preference is given to Java. Remember that. You know that, huh? Type anything, first preference will be given to what? Java. So then you'll understand how powerful it is. I know Java, correct? Huh? So HTTP select request. So what did I teach you? Request start. So many other cookies. Return type is what? Array of cookies. You want more information about cookies? Class cookie, it is there in this package. Go read. Everything is in front of you. Document is there in front of you. You got good internet connections. Everything you browse in life, this also you browse. Yes. Then what? Editor is there. You don't have to type only dot full drop down. I am explaining concepts so terrifically to you. What more do you need? So you're already a developer now. Yes. So that's how you go on exploring this library now. Code. So my example should be used for reference, not for copy pasting. Clear? Learn from the examples. I'm not showing you any output in my example. One example from day one you take till now also. I've never shown you output. I've only shown you concepts only. How many concepts I've covered, sit and count. You will only understand. Clear? The concept was what today? Storing client specific values in cookie object on client side. Simple. Okay, that's it for the day.